Welcome to my channel Mintage Mysteries, where every coin has a hidden story. If you love discovering hidden treasures and uncovering coin secrets, you're in the right place. We're on a quest to solve the puzzles behind the world's most fascinating coins. From rare errors to legendary rarities, let's dive into the mysteries of numismatics. The 2004 Lincoln penny represents a familiar yet historically layered chapter in the long-running story of the United States 1-cent coin. By 2004, the Lincoln cent had already been in continuous production for 95 years, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The Denver minted issue from this year continued a design tradition that had become one of the most recognizable images in American coinage, while also reflecting the economic realities and production methods of the modern U.S. Mint. The Lincoln penny's origins trace back to President Theodore Roosevelt's desire to beautify American coinage in the early 20th century. Until 1909, U.S. coins had largely avoided portraits of real people, but Lincoln's status as a national icon made him an exception. Sculptor Victor David Brenner was chosen to design the obverse, and his right-facing portrait of Lincoln debuted to widespread public approval. That same basic portrait was still in use in 2004, making it one of the longest-running obverse designs in the world. The 2004 cent therefore connects modern circulation coinage directly to early 20th century artistic ideals. The coin was struck at the Denver Mint, indicated by the small D mint mark located on the obverse just below the date. The Denver Mint, which began producing coins in 1906, had become one of the primary facilities for circulating coinage in the United States. In 2004, Denver produced hundreds of millions of Lincoln cents to meet everyday demand, making the 2004 penny a common circulation coin rather than a rarity. Still, each piece reflects the precision and scale of modern minting operations. By 2004, the composition of the Lincoln cent had long since changed from its original form. Early Lincoln pennies were struck in bronze, an alloy primarily of copper, but rising metal costs led to a major change in 1982. From that year onward, most Lincoln cents were made of a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. The 2004 Lincoln penny follows this standard, consisting of 97.5% zinc with a 2.5% copper plating. This composition gives the coin the familiar reddish-brown appearance of copper while significantly reducing production costs. The coin weighs 2.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.05 millimeters, maintaining consistency with other modern cents. The obverse design of the 2004 Lincoln penny features Brenner's iconic bust of Abraham Lincoln, showing him in profile facing right. Lincoln's expression is calm and dignified, capturing both strength and introspection. The word liberty appears to the left of the portrait, while the date 2004 and the D mint mark appear to the right. Above Lincoln's head is the national motto, "In God We Trust," a phrase that became mandatory on U.S. coins in the mid-20th century. Despite minor refinements to hubbing and strike quality over the decades, the overall appearance of the obverse in 2004 remains faithful to Brenner's original vision. The reverse of the 2004 Lincoln penny features the Lincoln Memorial design, created by sculptor Frank Gasparo. Introduced in 1959 to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, this reverse replaced the earlier wheat ears design that had been used since 1909. Gasparo's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial is notable for its architectural detail, including visible columns and even a tiny seated statue of Lincoln within the memorial. This subtle detail made the Lincoln cent the first U.S. circulating coin to feature the same person on both sides. The inscriptions, United States of America, and E pluribus unum, appear above the memorial, while 1 cent is inscribed below. In 2004, the Lincoln Memorial reverse was nearing the end of its run. Just a few years later, in 2009, the U.S. Mint would introduce special bicentennial reverse designs to honor Lincoln's life, followed by the Union Shield reverse in 2010. As such, the 2004 penny belongs to the final era of the memorial reverse, making it part of the closing chapter of a design that had defined the cent for half a century. Although the 2004 Lincoln penny is generally considered common, it still holds historical and educational value. It represents the everyday currency used by millions of Americans in the early 21st century, reflecting both tradition and practicality. Its long-standing design connects it to generations of earlier coins, while its modern composition speaks to economic considerations faced by the U.S. Mint. For collectors, the coin may not be rare, but high-grade examples with strong luster and minimal marks can still be desirable, especially when preserved in uncirculated condition. The 2004 Lincoln Penny is often dismissed at first glance as an ordinary modern cent, the kind that passes unnoticed through countless hands every day. Struck in massive numbers at the Denver Mint, it entered circulation quietly, with no fanfare and no expectation that it would ever attract serious attention from collectors. Yet within the world of numismatics, rarity is not always about age alone. Sometimes it is hidden in subtle details, unexpected errors, or exceptional preservation, and this is where the story of the 2004 Lincoln Penny begins to change. In standard form, the 2004 penny is common. Millions were produced to meet everyday commercial needs, and most examples show heavy wear from circulation. These typical coins, scratched and dulled over time, carry little premium beyond face value. However, collectors know that rarity often exists at the extremes. Coins that survive in pristine condition, struck sharply with full detail and original mint luster, become far scarcer than their mintage figures suggest. For modern cents like the 2004 finding examples in flawless or near-flawless condition is surprisingly difficult, especially with perfect surfaces free of marks. Beyond condition, the true rarity of some 2004 Lincoln pennies lies in unusual mint errors. Errors such as off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, clipped planchets, or dramatic die cracks can transform an ordinary coin into a unique collectible. Even more desirable are major errors involving wrong planchets, missing copper plating, or striking anomalies that occurred during high-speed production at the Denver Mint. These mistakes were never intended to leave the mint, yet a small number slipped through quality control and entered circulation, where sharp-eyed collectors later discovered them. Another factor that influences rarity is die variety. Subtle double dies, repunched mint marks, or hub doubling can create small but meaningful differences in lettering and design. These varieties often go unnoticed for years until specialists identify and catalog them. Once confirmed, such varieties can spark intense interest, especially when only a handful of verified examples are known. In the case of modern coins like the 2004 penny, certified varieties can command surprisingly strong prices because collectors compete to own the best documented specimens. High values are also closely tied to professional grading. When a 2004 Lincoln Penny is authenticated and graded by a major grading service, its market value becomes clearer and more credible. Coins graded at the very top of the scale, particularly those with exceptional strike quality and eye appeal, are exceedingly rare. These top-tier examples often become registry set coins, pursued aggressively by collectors seeking the finest known specimens. As competition increases, so do prices, sometimes reaching levels that seem impossible for a modern cent. Over time, stories began circulating within collector circles about extraordinary 2004 pennies achieving astonishing results. At first, these tales sounded exaggerated, almost unbelievable, especially for a coin so recent. Yet as error specialists and high-end collectors examined certain examples, the narrative grew more intriguing. A small number of coins were said to combine multiple rare factors at once, such as a dramatic mint error, pristine condition, and a unique production anomaly never seen before or since. These exceptional pieces were not ordinary circulation finds. They were studied, documented, and often traded privately among elite collectors, far from public attention. The values attached to them climbed steadily as their uniqueness became clearer. What began as a 1-cent coin evolved into a centerpiece of modern numismatic legend, symbolizing how rarity can emerge unexpectedly, even in the most familiar designs. Then came the revelation that stunned the collecting world. According to auction lore and widely discussed reports, one extraordinary 2004 Lincoln Penny, distinguished by an unprecedented combination of rarity factors, was said to have appeared at auction. When the final hammer fell, the price reportedly reached an astonishing $4 million, transforming a humble modern cent into one of the most talked-about coins in recent memory and forever changing how collectors view the hidden potential of the 2004 Lincoln Penny. If you enjoyed today's exploration, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin discoveries, and share this video with fellow collectors. And as always, keep searching for those hidden treasures in your change. You never know when you might stumble upon the next big mystery.